Good evening, students. As we approach the last week of the course, I've had an opportunity to read several of the term projects that students have turned in early. I want to make a comment about that. First, the due date has been extended until Thursday. That is, I believe, August 13th. Originally, turnitin.com was not functioning, and so I extended the due date based on some software upgrades that were happening there in Canvas. Please take advantage of the additional 2 days to check your paper for sentence structure, and more importantly, the grammar. Um, I know that this is not a literature class, and you students have not had a tremendous amount of opportunity to write and get your work critiqued, other than a couple of discussion boards that we've had. But the focus the whole semester has been for you to utilize the APA, American Psychological Association 6th edition, as your guide, your academic writing guide to develop your papers. It's also important that I think I've mentioned, or I haven't mentioned it before, that you can use a program called Grammarly that allows for you to put in your paper, or should I say, submit your paper, and the program will check your grammar for commas, fragmented sentences, um, squinting modifiers, split, various things that may come up as you write. Um, so we'll just go Grammarly. Now, the Grammarly program is a free program. Um, if you sign in, you will get, I guess you might call it, if I were to put on a scale of 1 to 10, without purchasing Grammarly, they'll give you about a 5.5 to a 6 of a critique on your grammar aspects of your paper. Um, as a professor, I pay for Grammarly, and so I get about an 8 to an 8.5, 9 when I put in my papers into Grammarly to check for, grammar specifications. So, again, in the papers that I've graded thus far, students did not use Grammarly. So I want to strongly recommend that, especially since you have, well, in the case that you have 2 additional days. And then the other thing is also keep in mind that this website here, Purdue OWL, provides you the ability to take a look at a actual APA paper to kind of compare and contrast what you currently have. It also gives you specific information regarding citations and those types of things. And so I might take a couple of minutes to take a look at this. The first paper that I received did not have my name on it. You can go ahead and put Dr. Young. My dissertation is all complete. I'm just waiting to get my approval and to do my final defense. And so I feel confident that my title of Dr. Young is in the making. In the next 3 to 4 weeks, I've completed my dissertation and completed my coursework. So it is important that you identify the evaluator in the paper that I graded this evening. The student left that out. It's very important. And then keep in mind when you do your abstract, it shouldn't be that long, right? Um, and you want to, in essence, tell a summary story of your conclusions, but you don't want to be too long-winded in that case. And again, those are just 2 items that I wanted to kind of share with you. Um, and then the last item is, so based upon the work that you've done in the respective classes, and I'm going to use the screencast-o-matic for both micro and macro econ. You will notice in my original development of the syllabus that I included the plus and minus moniker here in front of the points that were associated with my econ lab. This is because throughout the semester, I may change or add or subtract assignments according to what's needed. And so those of you that may have issues with the grading scheme, again, you can go back into my econ lab and verify the points that you've earned. This for this course, in this case, if you're in the macro class to date, and I'll do a final check after everyone's taken the final exam, 336 points for the midterm midterm exams, 160 points for the chapter quizzes. I have to check that value. I want to make sure that's right. Chapter homework 247, term project 100, and then chapter discussion forums are 80. So this is an area that will change slightly as we complete the course next week. Keep in mind, if you have any issues with your grades, I would encourage you to call, or should I say to email me, the department chair, as well as the instructor for the class, to see if there's any issues that we, you and I, may discuss, if there was an error that I made or something like that. Again, I'm not saying that if you disagree with my assessment that you can't voice that, but again, the numbers speak, and I think ultimately, if you've done your work, your due diligence, studied consistently, read, taken notes, and treated this class seriously, that your grades will materialize accordingly. But my point is that complaining does not make your grades change. It really confuses the process. It makes what we've done here personal versus business related. And also understand that I'm a very fair academic. I've been at Victor Valley College for 26 years teaching economics and accounting. I have 3 degrees. I know how important it is to evaluate students, first time correctly, being a student myself. And so I take pride in what I do there. But I'm only mentioning that because, as I mentioned, if you're unhappy with your score, make sure that you evaluate your work at my econ lab and within Canvas before you lodge a complaint. Again, if you email me, we can talk about it. I don't allow for extra credit. The scores are what they are. And I can maybe put to bed some of the frustration that you might have. But as I mentioned, the online classes are rigorous, and it's important that the standards are adhered to. So at any rate, I hope everyone is safe and well during these COVID times, and thank you for your time.